that said, we are moving on to our next theme, which our sixth theme is communities and in partnerships. How do you integrate inclusivity practices into your partnerships to ensure the impact of community and stakeholders are a priority?
We do so through culturally responsive curriculum and family engagement initiatives.
Okay, and what steps do you take, like, to actively involve the community in decision making?
So we always seek family feedback and invite participation in classroom activities.
Okay. And I'm really familiar with that because we did a lot of surveys. We did a lot of like bilingual resources just so like the families were really engaged and everything the students and the teachers were doing just because that's huge. Like family feedback was really big, especially with the culture corner. We needed a lot of families to participate and see if it was really an actual thing that the children enjoyed, and also like cultural like diversity in general is really important with families and community just because it's identity like at such a young age. The whole point of the culture corner is to have some sort of self, like my philosophy as a whole child, like I believe in the whole child. So it's like children at an early age that understand who they are and respect other people's cultures at a young age are more successful obviously later on in life. So I know we share kind of the same philosophy. Obviously I would not be there if we didn't, but yes, I do love that family is really involved in part of this. So moving on though, how do you, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes and I just want to make sure I didn't skip any questions. We talked about you seeking family feedback. So, how do you identify and address barriers? I know we talked about this again, but like with groups, underrepresented groups from participating in the partnership. So, yeah, how do you deal with that?
Uh, Again, communication. That's the key to everything. And just trying to be responsive towards everybody's different culture.
Yes, I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, awesome. How do you create a welcoming environment for all stakeholders?
Uh, we have open door policies and inclusive classroom displays.
Okay, so it's kind of like the energy, especially when you work with early childhood like education. It's really just like being open, friendly, welcoming. I mean, as younger people would say, it's a vibe. So it's really just a
I
vibe.
would say that.
They would, yeah. They're like, it's just the vibe. But obviously, it's all about the energy. Like when it comes to families and children, it's really about that. So yes, open door policy and just being so the next thing that I would say is what accommodations are made for employees, volunteers, or community members, such as like screen readers, sign language. We talked about a little bit of like the bilingual families or and stuff, but like, yeah, what accommodations do you guys do?
We do allow for a flexible schedule. We have multilingual communication and just a sensitivity to diverse needs.
Love it, which is really important. Love that. What policies and strategies does your organization have in place to encourage employee and volunteer engagement and growth within the partnership?
With mentorship, we have collaborative planning and leadership opportunities for interns.
Excuse me, I have to get some water.
Hydrate.
Yes, it's important. I've been doing this all day, so I need my water. So, thank you for that. How do you support professional development and leadership opportunities?
Through modeling, supervision, and reflective practice.
Okay. And well, what retention strategies have proven effective in maintaining long-term engagement?
Creating a supportive and respectful work culture.
Love
Yes,
it. Okay. Guess what? We're almost there. We're almost at the finish line. So thank you. Our seventh theme is partnership transitions and endings. So going right into it, how does your partnership handle personal changes in leadership? And what strategies do you use to ensure continuity?
uh, documentation's important, orientation meetings, and just structured onboarding.
Awesome. Okay, thank you for that. And how do you onboard new stakeholders into an existing partnership?
Again, we review expectations. We do shadowing and mentorship.
Okay. And so is your partnership ongoing or time bound?
So internships are term or semester based, but they're ongoing overall.
Okay. And so if time bound, what plans are in place for sustainability or transitioning responsibilities?
Through maintaining strong university relationships.
Okay. And that makes sense because obviously I was like semester, whatever term based, and then it ended up being a whole year. So just having that great.
Love having you.
I know it's like it was supposed to be just yeah, just a semester, but so going into that, is your partnership ongoing? Oh, sorry, we already talked about that. Um so through maintaining, you said maintaining strong university relationship. So then going in, how have your partnerships evolved to address changing needs or new opportunities while staying true to your original mission?
We always try and adapt to the curriculum uh, and just doing having collaborating based on like changing family and community needs, really.
Okay, got it. And then what happens when a partnership ends? So obviously, like, yeah, when it ends, and how do you ensure the impact is sustained post partnership? So if you're working with like another school or a nonprofit or an intern, yeah, like what happens when the partnership ends? And it doesn't have to be negative, but yeah, like what is that like when it ends?
We do conduct reflection meetings and maintain positive relationships with our interns.
Okay. Um, what lessons from the past partnerships have influenced your approach to future collaborations?
Again, the theme for this whole thing was important is clear communication, uh, and also just a shared vision. Those are essential for success.
Great. Yes, I know a lot of things were kind of repeated, but I know with like the partnership and organizations, a lot of things are pretty like repeated. So I feel like sometimes I'm like literally also writing the same thing over and over again. So I do appreciate you answering all my questions. Thank you for sharing your insights, your experiences with me today, also staying up much later after hours and doing this after my work hours in LA. Your perspective and on partnerships and education is really just really incredibly valuable, obviously for me, because I'm reaching out to you. Um, is there anything else you'd like to add, or if you have any like final thoughts? I love to hear them. So feel free to say anything you'd like.
We were just very grateful to have you. Like speaking on behalf of our staff and families at Ant, like we are just very appreciated having you on as an intern. Like the families and children, they've greatly benefited from your dedication and your efforts. Well, we're sad to see you leaving soon. We are incredibly proud of you for graduating and moving forward into your next chapter. So we're rooting for you and
Yay!
your continued success.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was really sweet. Yes, I know it's kind of a bittersweet. I mean, honestly, I can't wait to work somewhere where I get paid. So, but no, but I
You have it.
honestly I know we have that relationship where after a year it's been great. But no, I have been really, really grateful for this opportunity to work in a place that's like really open-minded, and also like just you guys care so much about the children and families, and that's a huge thing for me in education, and just like bringing on like the cultural aspect of it and the diversity, that's so huge. So I'm really really glad that I got to work, with you guys. And yeah, thank you. I don't know, we'll see what happens after I graduate. I'm almost at the finish line as I'm doing this interview and the night before this is due. So so we're almost there. The last thing I would like to ask is, would you like to receive a summary of this conversation, or like a follow up materials related to what we discussed in this interview? I can provide that if you would like. So if you would like that, please let me know.
Yes, send me the summary.
Awesome, great. And then the last thing, I know we talked about it via email, but I just wanted to ask, like, if you had given me permission to use any like AI tool to summarize this discussion, if I have to shorten anything, you are okay with me using any sort of AI tools. We use that a lot in university, where so they're incorporating it in our work now, but we have